Come home with me, if you want. The wind cut across the empty highway like a blade, sharp enough to make even the stars seem brittle. Jacob Miller slowed his old pickup when he saw her, curled against the closed door of a roadside church, wrapped in a thin coat that looked no match for a Montana Christmas Eve. For a moment, he thought she was a bundle of discarded clothes. Then she shifted, and he saw her face. She couldn't have been more than 30. Her hair was dark, tangled by the cold, her hands red and trembling as they clutched a small cloth bag. She was asleep, but it was the kind of sleep born of exhaustion, not comfort. Jacob felt something tighten in his chest. He hadn't planned on stopping. He rarely did anymore. Jacob was a lone rancher, the last of his family, living on land his grandfather had broken with bare hands and stubborn faith. The house was too quiet now. No wife, no children, just the creak of old floors and the ticking clock that reminded him how long evenings could be. Christmas Eve usually found him driving aimlessly, anywhere but home. He parked the truck and stepped out, boots crunching on frozen gravel. As he approached, the woman's eyes opened suddenly, wide, alert, frightened. She scrambled to sit up, backing away until her shoulders pressed against the door. "I'm sorry," Jacob said quickly, raising his hands. "I didn't mean to scare you." She studied him, clearly weighing danger against desperation. Her accent, when she spoke, was soft and unfamiliar. "I'm fine," she said. "I go soon." Jacob glanced at the empty road. The temperature was dropping fast. "It's below zero. You won't last the night out here." She hesitated, then said quietly, "I have nowhere else." That sentence landed heavier than he expected. Jacob swallowed. He'd passed plenty of people down on their luck before, but something about her, her pride, her fear, the way she tried to appear smaller than she was, made it impossible to walk away. "My name's Jacob," he said. "I live about 20 miles from here." He nodded toward his truck. "I've got a warm house. Hot food. You can stay the night. No pressure." Her fingers tightened around her bag. "Why?" she asked. He didn't have a neat answer. Just the truth. Because no one should be alone on Christmas Eve. The wind howled between them. Finally, she stood. "My name is Lynn," she said. "I come with you, if you want." The drive was quiet, but not uncomfortable. The heater hummed, slowly thawing the cold from Lynn's hands. She stared out the window at the endless white fields, as if afraid they might disappear if she blinked. At the ranch house, Jacob set about making soup, the simple kind, from cans he'd planned to eat alone. Lynn watched from the doorway, her eyes following his movements with a mix of curiosity and disbelief. When he handed her a bowl, she hesitated again, then whispered, "Thank you," as if the words carried weight. They ate at the small kitchen table. After a while, Lynn spoke. She had come to the United States chasing a promise that dissolved the moment she arrived, a job that never existed, money that vanished into the hands of someone who'd known how to sound kind. Her visa expired while she searched for work. Shame kept her silent. Fear kept her moving. By the time winter came, she had nothing left but that small bag. "I didn't think I would survive this night," she admitted, staring into her soup. "I prayed, but I did not know who would answer." Jacob felt his throat tighten. He thought of all the nights he'd prayed too, not for rescue, but for something to fill the hollow spaces inside him. "You can stay as long as you need," he said, surprising himself with how certain it felt. That night, he gave her the spare bedroom, untouched since his wife passed years before. As Jacob lay awake, listening to the wind batter the house, he realized something had shifted. The house felt alive. Morning came softly, wrapped in pale sunlight and fresh snow. The smell of coffee drifted through the halls. Lynn stood at the window, watching the cattle move slowly across the field. "It's beautiful," she said. "So quiet." Jacob smiled. Too quiet, sometimes. Days turned into weeks. Lynn helped around the ranch, cooking, cleaning, learning the rhythm of the land. She laughed easily once she felt safe, and that sound, light and genuine, filled rooms Jacob had forgotten could echo with joy. One evening, as they decorated a small, crooked Christmas tree he'd pulled from the shed, Lynn paused. "You saved me," she said. Jacob shook his head. "You saved yourself. I just gave you a place to land." She looked at him then, really looked, and he felt something warm and terrifying bloom in his chest. The unexpected truth came later: papers, lawyers, hard conversations. Lynn faced the possibility of having to leave. The night before her hearing, Jacob found her sitting on the porch, eyes wet but steady. "If I must go," she said, "I will always remember this place. You showed me humanity when I had lost faith in it." Jacob took a breath, his heart pounding. "Come home with me," he said softly. "Not just for tonight. For life. If you want." The words hung between them, fragile and brave. Tears slipped down her cheeks as she nodded. Spring came early that year. Lynn was allowed to stay. The ranch bloomed in ways Jacob hadn't seen in decades, not just with grass and wildflowers, but with laughter, shared meals, and a sense of belonging neither had known they were missing. On the next Christmas Eve, they stood together beneath the same stars, the cold no longer biting quite so hard. Sometimes, all it takes to change a life is a single sentence spoken with kindness, and the courage to open a door on the coldest night of the year.